What's up guys, Aiden here, Aiden Landscaping. Welcome back to another video. Today in this video I'm here with Mitchell Gordy from Mitchell's Lawn Care down in High Point, North Carolina. How you doing today?
Good, man.
Good.
Good to finally meet you.
Absolutely, man. So we just sitting down here today finally when we're getting a time to shoot a video, and we're just going to talk about a couple things kind of similar to what Brian and I did and just see what Mitchell's been up to and stuff like that. So if you want to just give everybody a little introduction of who you are, and that'd be great.
All right, like Aiden said, I'm Mitchell with Mitchell's Lawn Care, operating out of High Point, North Carolina, central part of the state. Been in business for 10 seasons, 10 years, and going on my 11th season. So just enjoying it. Love the green industry, love the community that we have created amongst the social media world with Instagram and YouTube, and just happy to sit down and talk with you, bud.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. So you had gone last year and you were doing, like, you had a crew, right? You were having somebody else doing the work? Yeah.
Yeah, I was full-time. So started in 2010. Mm-hmm. That was the first full season was 2010. Okay. And was a solo owner operator for 6 years. And then in 2016, ventured into full-time, okay, with the crew, full-time employees. Yeah. Did full-time work for 4 years, 2016 through 2019, mm-hmm. and just this year scaled back, and now I'm back on a solo owner-operator. Okay,
yeah, and you think that's better for your schedule and stuff like that?
Definitely better, yeah. So a backdrop, and I have put this out there, you know, in the last year or two. When I first got into the social media scene, I didn't put out there what I do. You know, I didn't want anybody to know what my full-time job was, but I am a full-time law enforcement officer in North Carolina, so that is a very demanding job.
Right. Yeah.
And that's my, you know, quote-unquote priority. You know, it's what pays the bills
and
puts a roof over my head. So, you know, balancing that full-time career with a full-time crew, full-time work, you know, will take its toll on somebody.
Yeah.
So this year, going back to a solo owner-operator, part-time lawn care, has been a lot less stressful.
Yeah.
But just as profitable, if not more.
That's good.
So
yeah.
The philosophy this year was less stress, or less is more.
That's awesome. So how does your work schedule work, like with the police, law enforcement versus cutting grass? Like, do you cut grass on the weekends, or do you have days off during the week, or how does that work?
Days off during the week. You know, and us part-time guys, you know, because you're the same thing, you're being a student. Right, yeah. You know, a lot of people refer to the part-time guys as the weekend warrior, yeah. You know, guys working the 9 to 5, you know, or school during the week, cutting grass on the weekends. But my days off run during the week. So, you know, like a Wednesday one week and like a Thursday next week. So it flip-flops. But I do my lawn care work on weekdays. Okay,
that's good. So at least you don't have to, you know, do it on your weekends and be working 7 days a week all the time. So that's
not anymore. Nice. No, I've been there before. When I was starting my company in the early days, you know, I was working all the time, but, you know, fortunate now that things don't work out that way, thankfully.
That's good. How were you able to find your full-time crew leader that worked for you last year? Did that somebody you started doing, like, that worked with you when you were doing work, or like, how did you find somebody like that?
I was fortunate. The 4 years that I was full-time, my first crew leader was with me for 3 years, and it was actually a good buddy of mine, and he was at a position in his life where he was, you know, venturing out to do something different. And I offered him a position. He thought about it and came on. So he got me through 2016, 2017, 2018. He and his wife ended up moving and relocating to the coast of North Carolina. Okay. And again, as a buddy of mine, so I support him. You know, I want him to be happy in life, and that's what he always wanted to do. And then the early part of 2019, you know, I put it out there that I was, you know, searching for a crew leader or wanted to hire one. And I thought that it was going to work out that I could bump up maybe one of my part-time guys into that position. But my crew leader, the guy that ended up being my crew leader last year, kind of fell in my lap. Yeah. You know, he was at a position in his life where he was looking for full-time work. He actually was operating his own lawn care company, but was in the juvenile stages of it, where it wasn't producing what it needed to provide for his family. Yeah. So he kind of fell into the position of crew leader by default. So I kind of got lucky. You know, I didn't have to search through a bunch of people. but that's how I got them.
That's awesome. And then how did you get, this is going back a little bit further, but how did you get started? Like, what made you want to go into lawn care?
Well, you know, I don't know your whole story, but,
Right.
you know, I was young too. When I started, I was cutting grass in my mom and dad's neighborhood.
Right.
You know, going door to door and cutting grass for, you know, $20, pushing them around the neighborhood, you know, so I've got that little story.
Right, yeah.
But that's how I got, you know, the knowledge, I guess, of cutting grass. You know, I don't
Right.
have a horticultural degree. It's a
Right,
tough word
yeah.
to say, but, you know, I didn't go to school for what we're doing. But I got into it, you know, just as a kid. And then, you know, life happens. You go through school, college, stuff like that.
Right.
And when I graduated college, before I got on with the agency that I work for, I knew a guy that owned a lawn care company.
Right.
And worked with him part-time. So that kind of got me, that like re-oiled the machine and kind of got me back into it in a more commercial setting.
Yeah.
And it got my wheels turning. So that's kind of how I fell into it. And I started my company during the recession in 2009 and 2010 when you were just a little wee little fella. So, but that's how I got into it.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Because I remember like scrolling back through your Instagram, you started with like an SUV with a
I had
trailer.
a Suburban.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy. All right, guys. Mitchell here is going to go ahead and tell us about how he branched off to doing work on his own, scaling back, and how, like, when it's time, you say to quit a job and go full time into lawn care. So.
Yeah. A lot of guys start lawn care companies, and it's a part-time thing.
Right.
Okay, because they have another career that they do. It doesn't matter what that career is, but they
Right,
just have
yeah.
another job. So lawn care is part-time. Well, they do, and part of this is me speaking from my experience. Okay, so that rhetorical guy that I'm talking about is me. Okay, you know, the work that you are doing is quality. People start talking,
Yeah.
spreading word of mouth. Well, before you know it, the phone's ringing. Hey, can I get a quote on you cutting my grass? Can I get a quote? Can I get a quote? Can I get a quote? Well,
Right,
your
yeah.
1 or 2 yards that you got because it's a friend or a family member,
Right, yeah.
you know, or
Turn
a
it into
coworker
4,
of
5,
somebody.
6, yeah.
Now it's 4, 5, 6 to where, you know, that half a day of work you had now turns into a full-time day of work.
Right. Yeah.
And you start seeing, hey, I must be doing something right.
Right.
You know, I'm making some money, and the phone's ringing. You're really not doing any marketing or advertising. Your work is speaking for itself, word of mouth marketing,
Right. Yeah.
which is priceless. And then you start to learn tools of marketing, things like that. You know, you get a logo, you get shirts, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
you get an image for your company, you put that out there, and guess what? More phone calls start coming in.
Right,
Okay,
yeah,
and then you're
exactly.
like, well, I really enjoy doing lawn care, and you know, I'm making pretty good money of it, and I'm not so happy in my 9-to-5 job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe I should venture into full-time work.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah. You're tired of a
And-
boss. You're ready to become your own boss or something
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
So, taking that leap, now, I didn't necessarily do that because I still work my full-time job.
Exactly, yep.
But when would somebody want to do that? When you've got more work that you can handle,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and you need to devote more time to the business, but you know that you've got enough work to support yourself or your family.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
don't want to make that leap if you can't pay the bills. That would be
that wouldn't
career
be-
suicide. Okay.
That wouldn't be very good.
Yeah, that would not be good. But if you've got enough work coming in to where, you know, you can keep the roof on over your head, the power on, food on the table, you know, then that would be a good time to maybe and pay all your bills. That would be a great time to maybe venture into full-time work.
Right,
Because
yeah.
if things are lining up to where, you know, calls are coming in, business is coming in, if you can devote 100% of your time and effort to your business, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be the reason that your business is being held back.
Right,
Makes
yeah.
sense?
Yeah,
So if you
absolutely.
can't devote 100% to it, you've got in essence you've got a cap
Yeah.
on your company. Okay, and that
Exactly.
cap being your time is devoted to something else. It's taking you away from your business.
Right.
So if you're wondering, hey, and if you are, you know, one of Aiden's viewers and you know, you've got a job that you work X number of time during the week and you're doing lawn care part-time and you want to make that venture into full-time work with your business and get out of the 9-to-5 job, and you're thinking, well, when do I do that? You've just got to be able to support yourself.
Absolutely.
So,
and the nice thing about you is while you're able to balance both, when lawn care stops, you still have income through the winter because you don't get any, you barely get snow in your area. It's the same here.
Yeah, we
get
don't.
snow every other 4 years.
Yeah, we don't get much. It's rare. And I look forward to the winter time. That's kind of going into a different topic, but I look forward to the off season.
Right.
You know, a lot of guys. Now that's another thing. If you're in an area where you don't have off season work, it could be a little stressful.
Yeah.
But if you plan accordingly during the season, it's not so bad. So you can, accommodate for those days or those months that things slow down. Where you live, where I live, we don't have huge snow seasons. It is rare, but there's still work that can be done. But grass slows down. Yeah. You can still do property cleanups and some landscaping and stuff like that.
Bush trimming,
but you've got to plan and know what you're doing. But I look forward to the off season because I still have an income coming in.
Right.
So the December, January, and February is literally my time to just hit the reset button and relax.
Yeah.
I really don't. And now that I'm back solo, I don't have to worry about, getting money in to pay salaries for full-time employees. So I use those couple of months just to kick back and chill. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, yeah, that's smart. So I'm assuming you had way more lawn care clients than you do now. How did you decide which ones you're going to keep? Because I'm sure you had a good relationship with most customers.
I did.
How do you tell them, or how do you show them look, this is what I'm doing, or these are the best clients? Are you keeping the ones that are most profitable to you, or how are you doing that?
It was tough because I've always been a people person.
Right.
So I always built a good rapport with customers, even if I never met them.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of times someone will send you an email, they want a quote, you never see them.
Right.
You send them an invoice, they pay it, they're happy with the work, you don't hear from them, and that's it. But you still have a good rapport with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But to answer your question, I did. I had a little over 80 properties.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. And when we were running full time, and anyone in the world of lawn care knows that the number of properties you have is really null and void.
Right.
Because
because they could be all $20 cuts.
You could have, or it's just the size of the property.
Yeah.
You could have one property that equals my 80.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So does that mean you have a lesser business because you got one property? No.
Yeah.
So it was tough to filter through it, but that was just because of the rapport that I had built with those people.
Yeah.
But you can't let emotions get wrapped up with business sometimes.
Yeah.
Business is business. So what I did was, I look where home base is for my company, which is my house.
Right.
Okay. So home base, I need to have a really, really dense route and minimize windshield time.
Right,
so you know what that means.
Yep.
And if you're not even in the world of lawn care, windshield time is riding around in the truck,
right, yep.
Behind the windshield. You're not making money if you're doing that.
Right. You're actually spending money,
exactly.
fuel and stuff like that.
So I wanted to have a really, really dense route and reduce windshield time. So that helped eliminate a lot of properties, right out of the gate.
Well, yeah, because isn't one of your first lawns right down the street from your house?
Well, just in my neighborhood alone, I could pull out of my driveway, and within 200-300 yards, I had 23 accounts.
Oh, wow.
In my own neighborhood.
That's awesome.
Okay. This year, I only have 5. Okay. I had a lot of bi-weekly properties. So I knew going into part of your question, answering your question is, going into this year, I got rid of every single bi-weekly account.
Yeah.
Because it's tougher to manage.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got rid of all my bi-weekly accounts. I got rid of everything that I had to drive, a good distance to.
Right, yeah.
So anything out of a certain service area, I got rid of. And I got rid of any clients that, weren't so prompt on paying. They always paid.
Yeah, but it might take 2-3 weeks to pay.
Yeah, they might be, a week late, 2 weeks late. And I always having that sense of, are they going to pay?
Yeah.
It's not a good feeling.
Or going to have to chase them for money or something
sending
like
them,
that.
emails of okay, I'm going to, give you a fee if you don't pay. I got rid of all those people. So I probably got rid of around 65 properties.
Okay.
And if I could help any of my friends in the industry around where I was, I softball pitched them to them, like, hey, they're going to be looking for a client, may want to give them a call, or
Yeah.
looking for a contractor. So that's how I downsized.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Mitchell, for your time
man.
and just sharing your story a little bit. So I think that was a pretty cool little interview. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. But with that, I'm Aiden from Mazelon Landscaping. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.